Hello everyone, welcome.
Hi.
Hello Elise,
Hi, how are
welcome.
you?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Let me just take this. Sorry.
It's okay.
Hello, do you hear me? And
Yeah, I can
thank
hear
you.
you. I might
Now
just turn myself up. I'm just
I'm
turning the
seeing
volume up a little bit.
this beautiful Bocan on you. Thank you.
Of course, any opportunity, you know.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for accepting our invite. You're very kind.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, and also welcome everyone, our followers. Today we are hosting a beautiful, talented, and also, different than the other artists, Elyse Blackshaw. Welcome.
Thank
And
you.
also, you are a leading illustrator in fashion industry, and you're an image maker. So we will talk about more about you, and you're an inspiring woman, and for your students and also the ones that follows your work and your art. And after also talking with my artist friends, that they say that because I'm not a professional artist and I didn't go to school about it, and like you have this voice, you know, to creating your beautiful works, but you don't stand back. You like to be heard by the ones that you wanted to be heard. So sorry, I'm so excited. And again, I want to introduce you a little bit what you do to our followers, if you allow me.
Yeah.
Thank you. And uh, you, Elise, you've been taking part in various live illustrations during Fashion Week documentary with the best designers London has to offer. And you created inspiring work for digital media and features for publication. And also with a great deal of teaching experience you gained in 5 years. Great resume, by the way. You hosted a number of interactive and creative workshops, and you made live illustrations, offered tips and video demos on how to illustrate using digital media. For instance, Samsung and UK art colleges, including Royal College of Art. Wow.
Fancy.
It is. So again, it's such an honor for me to meet you, inspiring and talented lady and artist, and smart lady, of course. And if you allow me, I'm gonna ask the question.
Of course.
Tell us a bit about yourself and what you do.
So I'm 29 years old and obviously a female, and I am from a small town outside of Manchester. So I'm a northern girl, but I've been trying to navigate the art and fashion world, I suppose, over the last few years. I'm currently completing my final year of study at the Royal College of Art. And yeah, I'm living in London now, and I guess I'm doing my masters after 8 long years as a fashion illustrator, and I think I was just ready to push my work a little bit more.
Yeah, and absolutely, after seeing your work, you're passionate about fashion as a creative expression, while you also highlight the negative issues that have arisen in the industry. So it's not a fairy tale. So you have this courage to tell that there is also negative sides of the industry. And also, how do you aim to demonstrate through your work, and why?
Yeah, I mean, I've drawn fashion continuously for years, and I just got to a point where I felt like I really needed to embody a little bit more meaning and perspective. Because obviously, being a fashion illustrator, I obviously love fashion. I find it so inspiring and exciting to see. But I also felt I was feeling sort of guilty or influenced by a lot of, I guess, the statistics around fashion, and I was just hoping to see how can I still bring the joy of fashion and illustration and combine it with sustainability? Because sometimes it can be a little bit doom and gloom. And how do we, as people that love to be involved with fashion, how do we still how are we able to do that and still think about the environment as well? And I was really cautious that I didn't want to be too preachy. I wanted to just come from a perspective of a consumer, someone that does buy fashion and love fashion, and it's this difficult relationship to try and manage. And I guess I just wanted to investigate that relationship a little bit more using my visual identity as an illustrator, all the bright colours and the textures, and just be quite playful with it, because sometimes sustainability issues surrounding that isn't always as fun and playful when we think about that. So yeah.
Yeah, and of course, no doubt the global pandemic has a number of adverse effects on our lives. And how do you feel the pandemic has affected your work and your creativity? Creativity. Sorry, English is not
Well,
my native language, so I learned it
oh no,
later.
don't worry.
So,
And I think
yeah,
talking live as well, like we get there's too much pressure knowing people are watching us to
yeah,
not be able to get our words out properly. So I think the pandemic has impacted us and the issues around the environment. I think that we would never want to experience this life indoors again, and I think maybe it's forced us to reflect on the world we live in and think about the outside world a little bit more in terms of the environment and making sure we are able to embrace it. And yeah, I think maybe it's made us appreciate the planet a little bit more, and we want to be out there, and in order to do that we need to look after it.
so in a way, we say that like global pandemic also the uh, was the art of the god or the universe that which turned out good for the environment, also sustainability.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
so
think
we
it's
will
given. I
see.
mean, even regardless of sustainability, I think it's forced us all to sort of we've had no choice. We've had to take a step back and really think about what we do, ourselves, our lives, and I guess our
Yeah,
freedom to an extent was taken away. And I think it's made us all sort of really
yeah,
put things in perspective and feel the importance of the planet and the
yeah.
world and people.
And also in a way, I believe that nothing will be the same in a good
Mm,
way.
yeah, hopefully change can come from this.
Yeah. And next question is, one of your beautiful illustrated features asks the question, what's your fashion superpower? Which I
Mm.
really liked it. Like it's so creative. What's
Yeah,
your
that was
fashion?
so. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was part of Fashion Revolution's first ever zine in 2016, I think it was, and I was illustrating a quiz that they were doing about, yeah, what's your fashion superpower? Are you someone that is good at buying like sourcing like vintage clothes to wear instead of buying the new ones? And you took a little quiz and found out what your superpower would be. But I guess if I was to say what my fashion superpower would be, I think it would be. I think I have this ability to capture that childlike fantasy of fashion that maybe sometimes we forget or we lose as we grow up because of the demands of industry, or buyers or customers, and I guess just adult life in general. And I think my superpower is like keeping alive the reasons why we fall in love with fashion from a young age and keeping it playful and, yeah, that kind of fantasy naiveness that we have when we're children.
yeah, and I really loved it personally. And again, thank you for your, intention. So you are not just an artist, you are also activist in a
Mm,
way that you're showing your work through your also the things that you believe in
mm.
it. So definitely, I'm supporting you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also, with it being Women in History Month, like, what women have inspired you all this time?
Yeah, I had to think about this as it's Women History Month, and I suppose we can't talk about inspiring women maybe without acknowledging our mums, and not just my mum, but in fact all mums. I always find it so admirable that they're able to give up their like bodies, their lives, their dreams and ambitions to support these children all the way through their life, and how they navigate being able to go to work and look after their children. I think it's just amazing. I feel like I'm always super busy, or I get tired when I'm so busy, and I think, oh my, like, how do you come home after work and all the things you have to do and then still look after your children? And they're so selfless. And I think, people that are mothers are just, yeah, I can't imagine how they do it all. And then I've also thought about women who maybe identify as a woman and they live silently for years, and how they have the courage to go against our social norms or gender norms and expectations, to live their lives as a woman. I think is yeah, so courageous. And I think it's important to remember those women as well in Women's History Month. But in terms of like specific women, I love this French American artist called Niki de Saint-Phal, and she's been like my long lasting love and inspiration for all my work. And yeah, I think she had a privileged yet challenging upbringing, and just the way she has navigated through the art world, and she's experimented a lot. And the work of hers that I loved the most wasn't until her later life. And I think it gives me hope that we just have to go through all the challenges and the processes before it's never just like we achieve something instantly. There's a lot of hard work that comes into that. And yeah, just enjoying being on a journey. I think that she inspires me to do that.
Yeah, and also, as you said, I really agree with you. Mothers are, I think, super women.
Mm.
They have superpowers.
Yeah, they really do.
And I'm also mother. I have a daughter, 8 years
Oh
old.
wow.
So
Yeah.
I know a bit,
Mm.
what's being a working mom. Uh, it's fun. It's also you know uh, challenging in a way, but life is a way to experience things and emotions.
Yeah.
So I enjoy being mom, and thank you
Yeah.
for your answer again.
Well,
And
you
you,
inspire me.
thank you. It's very kind to say that. And uh, I'm shooting the next one, if you allow
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, yeah, of
Question,
course.
okay. You explain that like you have a complex, like love-hate relationship with passion.
Hmm.
So, do you feel like this is changing now? Because we are seeing rise of by made to order and also and also the circular economy. So what do you think about it? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's like a yes and no answer. I always find it really difficult to have a definite viewpoint on these things, because I think the scales between fashion and sustainability. So it's kind of like that. You're always weighing up the pros and cons, because everything that we might change will have an effect on someone or something. Um, I love the high fashion and avant-garde style fashion, but then I really dislike the accessibility of cheap clothing and fast fashion. And is it still fashion? I don't know, but then there's sustainable fashion that sometimes is only available to people that can afford it. And in a way, sometimes I think sustainable fashion can exclude a lot of working class people, because because of it's maybe not as quickly produced or cheaply produced. Obviously, it's worth the amount of money to have something, a sustainable garment, but also how do we get everyone to be sustainable if they can't necessarily afford it? And I think we have to think about everyone's needs. So hopefully the sort of circular systems that we see will start off maybe higher end, but then eventually trickle down like things do into more, commercial clothing and that kind of thing.
Yeah, like when I also think that like this consumerism, going like around crazily
Mm-hmm.
around the world, like what are we feeding ourselves? Maybe we should
Mm.
ask this question again, like what is the whole, like
Yeah,
in ourselves we are trying to fulfill in it, right?
yeah.
So I agree with you. I think we should need education
Mm.
about like as a consumer. We
Yeah.
should definitely get education because we learn everything, right? Like we go to school. Like I wasn't born like knowing everything.
Yeah.
So I think consumer behaviors can be learned
Mm.
for a better and sustainable and world.
Yeah.
So you're doing with your beautiful work. Thank you again for the world. Yeah, and also if you could change one thing to accelerate the pace of change for patients' relationship with waste and excess, what would it be?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that would change and accelerate this would be just sort of government policy and what they allow brands to do, maybe having stricter standards and expectations. Because obviously, as well as being, an art form, fashion is a business as well. And obviously, we all want to make money. We all have to make money. I'll sell my art because I want to make money. I guess everyone
Of
does to
course.
have to survive. But I think, if there's brands that are being sustainable, and they're being successful at that, why can't all brands also do it? And I think, yeah, maybe if they have to, then then they will, and if they don't want to do that or can't, then they just won't be a brand, unfortunately, and then maybe
Yeah.
they'll try other ones. And I think, yeah, maybe just a stricter government policy would accelerate it a little bit more than leaving it to the choice within the brand.
Yeah. Uh, Definitely, I agree with you about that one too. And you teach live workshops
Yeah.
and to graduates and college students, and I really like the thing that you're doing because like you're helping, like you're inspiring also young people to be in the industry like
Mhm.
you. So you're a great example for them. So again, is it important for you to be able to encourage young people at the beginning of their
Yeah.
careers? Yeah. And why?
Yeah, I think, obviously young people are the next generation. They're going to be the people that are working in this industry, and I guess they'll be able to make those changes. And I'm even passionate about trying to feed this down to even primary school children, because I think it's important to, yeah, to, like you say, to educate and to learn these things from a young age, so that we grow up knowing better, having better choices, and knowing the effects of our choices as well. um, and obviously, we're not, like you say, we're not just born with this knowledge. This kind of knowledge needs to be shared and taught
Mhm.
to us, in order to be successful in it. And because we all, we don't want another society of throwaway culture. But then it's important for me to try and do that in a really playful and fun way. So, which is why I try and make sure that, when I'm doing any workshops that might involve sustainability, it is about making and using scrap materials, but in a really fun, fashiony way.
Yeah.
And to make it engaging. Because I think also, as well as, graduates of textiles and fashion students, it's important to educate non sort of specialists as well, people that aren't in the industry and they don't know about it. I think that they're just important to educate too.
Yeah, and also I want to add that about me, my relationship with art.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I made this collage at my senior year at high school. I made this whirling dervishes. Maybe you heard Sufism.
Mm-hmm.
So I won $100 with it. So
Amazing.
and I became second. So so we are sharing a little bit. Like
Yeah.
I have also art career.
Yeah,
Very
of course.
small.
But I think things like, using scrap materials or collaging, it's so accessible to everyone as well. Everyone's got something around the house that they could use, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
about,
fun.
yeah, and it's having the techniques. I just try and share my drawing techniques to add patterns and color to decorate these things.
And Elise, can I be your student?
Of course, anytime.
I
Private
want
tuition.
I want to attend your workshops.
Of
I
course.
really do. I mean
Yeah,
it.
no, of
Thank
course.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love you
And
to.
And also, do you feel a kind of difference between the passion and the responsibilities that are now becoming the part of working industry?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a change. I think when I was doing my undergraduate, so I graduated 2013, I think there was elements of like being environmentally aware, but it was more about really developing strong visual identity. But I think now, because we're more aware of the effects, and I guess social media has really grown since in the last 10, 20 years, we're more aware, we're more able to find out about this information. Um, so then it's more about having a visual identity, but I think we are more, and students are more conscious about making sure they're considering the environment in their designs, which is great. I hope that, just sorry, I'm thinking about the question again, any more responsibilities? Um, yeah, I think also brands as well are just forced to think about it. A lot more consumers are thinking, is this sustainable? And if it's not, do I want to buy from there? So there's definitely a change in the industry.
Yeah. And also, what advice would you like to give to young people who are at the beginning of their careers in fashion and fashion illustration?
I think realistically, I think the fashion industry. It's not easy. You might change your mind a lot about what you want to do. I probably started wanting to be a fashion designer, and then a print designer, and then accessories, and then fashion illustration, and then, oh no, I want to be a designer still, and oh, I want to be an art. So you're allowed to change your mind. I think there's a lot of pressure that we have to choose this one thing and do it for the rest of our lives. And actually, you can do a bit of everything, and it's your work. You can present it however you like. You might feel stuck a lot, but it's all part of the process. And I think if we don't feel challenged in our work, then we're just stood still. So I always think if you're feeling stuck or something's difficult and challenging, it's actually a good thing, because it means you're growing, you're developing, you're getting better. You're like, because if it's too easy, you're just stood still. So.
Yeah, and I definitely 100% agree with you. Like, if you don't push yourself, not good things like happens later.
Yeah.
So really, I'm so honored to host you here, but not finished, because I'm going to shoot my last question, if you allow me. So what is the next venture that you have on mind?
Yeah, well, it's my graduate show in June, so I'm hoping to really be a bit more three-dimensional and maybe like tie everything together. I am very like paper and 2D based, but I really want to be in a space more, whether it's doing sort of window displays or hopefully I can do some more physical workshops instead of online workshops. But I also really want to work around other issues aside from sustainability, and something that I'm kind of been posting about at the moment, as well as Women's History Month. It's also Endometriosis Awareness Month, and I think just connecting with more world issues through fashion would be something that I'm excited to explore a little bit more of.
Yeah, and Elise, thank you again so much for joining us, and it's been really inspiring for me having this interview with you, because it's a new area for me, the art. And like meeting such an inspiring and talented woman, and also beautiful, a lot.
You're gonna make me blush.
You have all rights to blush because you're so beautiful and also so smart. And I'm again so happy to meet you. And I hope we can meet in person, and I can be your student in your workshop.
Of course, whenever you like.
I would be so glad. And thank you everyone for joining us. And we made this our last interview with beautiful Elyse Blackshaw today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, and thank you for wearing beautiful Bocan.
Of course, I love it.
Yeah, thank you so much, and see you hopefully. See you hopefully
I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Bye-bye.